Okay, I'm going to call the Finance Committee meeting to order for January 18th, 2023. Members present are Mr. Bodkins, Ms. Alt, Tom Fellner. If there are no additions or corrections, I'd like a motion to accept the minutes from the December 21st regular meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Bodkins makes the motion.
I'll second.
Ms. Alt seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Before you have the agenda. If there are no changes, I'd like a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Ms. Alt makes the motion. Mr. Bodkin seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. The first discussion item is ordinance 2023-9 regarding State Route 61. So I'm going to lateral it to the mayor.
Just the airport
Or
in it.
Ms. No.
Well, go ahead, Nick.
All right.
You passed
Ms. Ward.
the preliminary.
Yeah, I'm gonna lateral
legislation.
it, yeah.
Thank you.
Yep,
Um,
back in, I don't know, was it November, December, you passed the preliminary legislation.
oh,
Now we just have to pass the final. This is from Harding Way, Northeast Street, north to Charles, and then Charles Street, all the way out toward the airport, the urban weaving project. So the city's portion of it's $376,000. It's in the budget. And we need to have this, they need our final legislation by February 1st.
Okay.
So,
thank you.
yes.
That is
Thank
great.
you. This goes, so it's 61 toward the overpass. I mean, down Charles and,
Yeah,
And so up East Street
right,
and then hanging right on Charles Street
Okay.
and going straight out all the way to the airport.
to the airport. Okay,
yeah,
so
Circle
we're
K
not-
is where
we're
I
not
think it
going
actually starts.
Yeah,
It's Circle K or Tubby's out
Okay.
there, and then that same route you're describing. Yeah, Charles has gotten pretty rough, so that'll be a relief. The worst section of that is out by the airport where it goes in and out of the city limits.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's.
So you said our portion was 376,000. What's the other portion? Yeah.
I don't know, the original.
We'll get it for you.
estimate that This project was brought to us by ODOT was 500, so this, I was surprised that it came down significantly, that's. Yeah, I don't really care what the project really is.
We'll find that out.
And I'll look through my stuff.
Awesome.
Any other questions? If there are no other questions or comments, I would like a motion to move ordinance 2023-9 onto full council for Tuesday.
I'll make that motion to add ordinance 2023-9 on the full council.
Ms. Alt makes the motion. Mr. Bodkin seconds. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Second piece of discussion, item B, ARPA procurement policy, ordinance 2023-10.
I'll jump in on this one. I'm a little more prepared on this one. I think Thomas has produced this for us, and what it is needed for is in order to do, I'm going to use the wrong word, but it's a subcontracting of the county's ARPA dollars in order to be able to do that. We need this procurement policy that we're going to procure the consultant, we're going to procure the contractor consistent with ARPA rules. So I don't think it represents much of a change in how we'll see projects developed. It'll have more to do with our ability then to work with the county to get their funding. So I'm not sure if that's, Thomas, can you think of anything?
Well,
in
to
addition?
let you know, what we did was the city of Bucyrus has already gone through this. They actually created this document, the law director for the city of Bucyrus. And so what I did, since this had already been approved and it was a working document, I took theirs and tweaked it, changed several things in it, both clerical, and then there was some, I know this is a public meeting, but I'll say it anyway, there was some substantive errors in it. And it's now before you and it's ready to be adopted. As the mayor said, it is very similar to the current way we do things. There are some nuances that ARPA throws in, and there's a requirement that's in here that if there's a conflict or a disagreement between the way ARPA wants it and the way the city of Young tradition does it, ARPA wins. So that's in there.
So you drafted the ordinance, but when you were referring to little changes, that was in the contract?
Yeah, it's the policy. It's the
Okay.
procurement policy. It's 41 pages, something to read as you're going to bed, put you to sleep. But it is necessary, as the mayor shared, in order for us to participate in the receipt of ARPA funds from Crawford County.
And a lot of the, things are standard in government contracts. Body requirements, minority-owned, women-owned, small business vendors, equal opportunity, things like that.
Yes.
Okay.
Nothing should shock you.
But it has been the reason we shuffled around the first phase of Railroad Street, where when we you set it up on the sources and uses, the source being the county, the use was going to be sort of the first part of the front end of the water plant. That isn't really going to work. So when you look at what we've decided to do is use existing ARPA money, our own allocation, and capital improvements fund to not hold up the repair of the clarifier. So we really need to get this money in order to do all these other elements out there. I don't want to go through some of the tanks and the major deficiencies that EPA wants corrected. So anyways, I'm glad to see it moving along, and we can now get that in place. Commissioners really wanted it.
Have they decided, have we decided, figured out if they're paying the bills, are they giving us the money if we're paying the bills?
I think that we are going to be reimbursed after we've expensed it. The best person to answer that question is Annie, they help me with her last name, who's the commissioner's clerk.
Yeah. I think the answer, the reason for the question is that if that's the case, and they're going to be giving us ARPA funds, we may have to set up a new fund for those, and we may not be able to use the existing ARPA fund, but yeah. I just want to make sure that we're in front of that, not behind the.
We should get a hold of them. We get this up onto the agenda and moving forward, and all questions answered. We need to get that
I
clarified.
can clarify once we find out, but
Setting up a new fund would clarify that. We just make it simple. We're not separating
simple,
these
okay,
versus-
but also legal.
Well,
I mean, that's just, I don't.
No, Doc, what I was going to say, I agree with Brian. They were concerned about how they track the expenditure. So they may need to be a party to the yet to be selected contractor or contractors or vendors. That's what Brian's right to point that out, but that's.
And Cindy McCaffrey was like, we don't have to ask permission because it's federal funds. We can automatically set up the funds. That's not a hole in this process. But I just want to make sure that if we're going to get that, and that's where the money, if we're going to get reimbursed, that it goes into that, and then we can do we just want to track it right.
I was the biggest hurdle. We had 2 meetings, I believe, on this. I don't know if you were at both of them or either one. Matt and I were over a couple of times. The biggest hurdle was getting this so that the prosecutor was comfortable with the request. And then the second one has to do with how the auditor, how the commissioner's office, their clerk, prefers to have it done, so we can do the second hurdle.
Thank you.
Anything else? If not, I'd like a motion to move ordinance 2023-10 on full council.
I'll make that one.
Mr. Bodkins makes the motion.
I'll second.
Ms. Alt seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item C, discussion or and changes to the staffing ordinance.
What do you have in front of me, guys and gals?
I-
You have a new list, is it itemized?
Yeah, I believe so.
Did I give you one?
Yeah, it came in the packet.
Yeah, I don't know where to start. It has been an issue for a couple of years that I can remember. And maybe longer than that in some people's minds. The cost of some of our higher paid employees.
We're not on that ordinance.
What is that? Oh,
No, we're on
Staffing.
staffing ordinance. Staffing.
This is
Oh.
how many this is the number of
See.
staff in each department.
excuse me. I haven't done that in a while, have I now? I'm so anxious to talk about this. No, I think this is Brian's, isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought so.
My bad.
I kind of bruised it.
No,
that's
it's
the only change that I saw, right? from the
Yeah, it's-
office.
Yeah.
Okay,
Correct.
okay,
All right, excuse me, I'm sorry.
all right.
So it's essentially adding more positions to the auditor's office.
Yes, that's the only addition.
We had discussed a few months ago about a deputy auditor position. We had preliminary talks about that. I think the 22 ordinance never passed, the 21 ordinance never passed. I was talking to Julie to have the deputy auditor in that position, then it didn't pass. So I just brought it back up. Again, I am not sitting here asking you to fill all of these positions. I'm asking you to put them on there and have them available if we make that decision. Deputy auditor, creating a crew chief position in the auditor's office, and then 2 administrative clerks. Ultimately, I'd like to have 4 in the office, but I'm not sure when or how we get there. But I will be honest, the biggest thing is I'm going to push towards the administrative clerk, crew chief, and try to get that position filled. And then still stay with the 1 administrative clerk. I do not have job descriptions in front of me. Nikki has forwarded me the one that we created for the utility office. I haven't had time to change that or do that. So if you're concerned that you don't have a job description in front of you, you don't. It'd be pretty simple to put together. But I'm not sure that a job description is needed for this ordinance. You're just creating the positions in there. I will certainly answer any questions or have discussion.
So kind of just a summary, sorry, Carol. We're creating positions, not necessarily funding them because,
Yeah, I haven't asked you to fund them because they're not funded.
and you don't have people at the time to fill those. So this is a preliminary work.
To a degree, I intend, if this passes, I intend to push for the crew chief position as soon as possible.
I get it.
That will have to be in some additional funding. It currently is not funded. Our budget is not funded for that. And while it has to be bid and stuff, I would certainly expect that would be Eunice in that position. In one way or the other, but I can't say, that's an open bid position,
Sure.
so that would be a union position.
Sorry, Carol.
Is this gonna be like the highest number of employees that the auditor's office has had recently if we do adopt this? Cause I guess whenever and maybe Tom can answer this, either one of them, if you think back to a time when the auditor's office was running well or smooth, is there that number of employees in there, or is this like a new number? I guess, what would adding these positions do in the office?
I won't answer the second one. The when Brian Trish first took over, he took 2 fiduciary employees. No, back up. He didn't select 2 fiduciary employees. He took 2 bargaining unit members that in the previous, if you recall, they were both utility office and accounts payable. Basically took the 2 most competent bill payers, and those people went with Brian. So there was the auditor and 2 staff. That's what there has been since then.
So I guess, Brian, what would these 2 new positions add to
Well-
your office?
Again, I'm not asking for them to be hired. I'm putting it in there in the event that we can get there maybe sometime if the need arises. The deputy auditor would be I think fiduciary is the right term. It's somebody that would be hired by me. It would not be a bargaining unit member, kind of an at-will employee. But the crew chief position would be under the bargaining, they asked me union contract. I think you do one or the other, probably not both at this point in time. So I left the 2 administrative clerks in there, so maybe you have a crew chief and you bring a second admin clerk in at a lesser. It's just trying to make things run a little bit smoother and more efficient. Again, while these positions may be on the chart, they don't necessarily need to be filled, and I give you the police department as an example. There are 2 police captains showing on the staffing chart. Okay, you can't, and they had been there for a long time, and there's certain rules implied that if you get rid of those, you have to go through a process to get rid of them. So they just didn't remove the police captains from the police department, but they've been determined not to be necessary or to be filled at this time. So they're there. You wouldn't have to create them, but you don't have to fill them. This is giving us, the city, some leeway to be able to staff it, add an extra employee, if you will, or to put a crew chief in that position, or at some point in time down the road, you don't need a crew chief.
I also wonder how many employees other cities our size or with budgets similar to ours have in their auditor's office, if it's a similar number or what that looks like. Like how many does?
I have no idea. I will, a general statement that if you don't use RETA, if the city runs their own income tax office, then you probably see those with 1 or 2 more. But if you talk to the finance person, it's probably no, that individual works exclusively on chasing down income tax.
Yeah, they have Kelly and you started.
So, I'll go ahead and mention this. This position, I mean, you all have to create it, but there's a negotiation with the unions about that. They'll have to approve it. I've been disappointed. I think we've been disappointed, but I'm definitely disappointed with a couple of decisions they made recently. So I have no way to predict whether they'll be supportive of that. That was one of the things they agreed to do when a crew chief was elevated, if you will, in the billing office, is they had to approve that. So. I got one more if I could real quick. It was only 3 years ago when through collective bargaining, this applied to almost every woman in city employment. All the clerks got moved up a pay range, including the person who's likely to then be elevated from that up to crew chief. So there has been a bump in compensation for that classification work. So, anyway.
Thank you.
Anything, Kenny?
You really need one clerk, really. That's what you're saying.
I'm sorry?
You really use one person, because I can see everything's so stacked up. Because I remember one time we were talking, every bit of money we get from somewhere, you guys create another line for it somewhere. So, you checking all those, budgets in the year, that was scary. You know, look at all the figures and all the, it was like 101, boom, 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 down 2-3 pages. It looked like to me, but would that help you get things done a little more efficiently if that person were to come on board?
Well, again, right now, I'm not advocating to take us to 4 people or 5 people. I'm advocating that we have the ability to do some, potentially do some or bring another person in, or keep the staffing at the same level and create a crew chief and keep one administrative clerk.
You call a crew chief for you, is that what you're saying, someone in your office?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just the higher.
You're not the crew chief.
No, I'm the auditor.
Yeah.
So it would go like auditor, deputy auditor, crew chief, and then administrative clerk, right?
We make a big issue out of that, don't we? Just a big one, but no, I appreciate that, Brian, thank you.
If there are no other questions or comments, I'd like a motion to pass ordinance 2023-11 on the full council for consideration. Mr. Bodkins makes the motion.
I'll second.
Ms. Alt seconds. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. We've got 6 minutes to discuss.
Can we get this done? You want to? We can get
Do
this
it?
done.
Oh, yeah.
The
Julie and I
as
have a
easy
bet,
as
so.
easy as this group said yes to that last one. This is less of a needle thread. This is the only issue I want to bring up is that we have a couple of folks. It's come up the last few years that and it's in the most responsible positions. They're piercing through this pay schedule. So there'll be guys in 6 figures. I think at least 2 of them, correct?
One guy in 6 figures, and then the fire captain will go through the ceiling on that one. This is not things.
Yeah. So there's a couple of people pushing up $100,000 for their job. There's one that's gone through. I mean, the last 6 months, that individual, he was essential to us getting through in the business side of the police operation. So it'd be the worst time. It's a little bit like what Brian was saying with his person who's done a lot of work for us. Now's not the time to not reward them of that logic. So, but it's, you just need to stop and think about it. You're going to have almost all of the superintendents be in the mid 80s, excuse me. Lines departments at almost 90,000. The 2 water guys, water and wastewater, they're relatively new. They're mid 80s now. So I wanted to point that out before we just sort of pass that along. I've said for a few years in council before, had some concerns. There's an absolute maximum. You can't just, if one became, let's say, the fire chief at a relatively young age, they're going to end up 150 to, around 150,000 by the time they retire. We had 10,000 people in town. So I catch myself feeling really old talking and thinking like this. That may be the cost. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt. No, so these are ranges.
Yeah.
That are proposed and not current salaries for those
Well, our most
positions.
senior. So we have yeah.
It's easy to kind of hyperventilate
Right.
when you see the max of the range, but knowing that the people aren't there, but we've got to set those.
Right.
I mean, we're into the 20, 24 and 25, so.
Right. But so anyways, I'm just, there are two of these individuals that are at 89,000. One's at 89.7. The water and sewer guys we gave them the exact same salary, so they're not quite 84,000, $10 short of that. The service director is just shy of 82. That's of all the, you look at the job, that's not fair. It doesn't seem to be fair. Fairness has to do with it, I'm not quite sure. And then I think on this ordinance, there's Matt and Eric in the mid 50s, I'm sorry. So that's really to kind of, it's on the scale, it's the potential to earn that larger number like you had begun to say, Doug, but that's what we're talking about.
But we kind of need to pass this because you're saying there's gonna be 2 employees.
No, I mean, we waited forever, yes, but we waited forever a couple years ago, and then
Yes.
we did the back pay, and then it's like cash flow collision.
Um,
So they got caught up all in one. Does anybody remember how late the year was?
April 14th.
Oh, there's somebody must have been affected.
It flew
Remember
back.
clearly.
No, I had to look it all up
Okay.
when I wrote the ordinance.
Well,
Yeah.
it was last bargaining.
Yeah, it was. So I don't know. It's just it's transparency, man. I just want to be fully transparent. I think I say that tongue in cheek, but I think it's cost of doing business in the 21st century. It does make us. If I can jump the track, is it 7:30 yet? 'Cause
Nope.
You don't have a quorum.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, you do? You just have a quorum?
Paulo's out there.
Oh, okay. Well,
Mike
anyway.
will not be here.
Was I beginning to say, the discussion of last fall that was too late to do anything about, that Brian brought up, I forget what he brought up, about the compensation for the law director, the auditor, and the mayor. I think that comes back up again. It's a good time to begin for council to think about setting that way in advance of your salaries and the administrative salaries. So,
Is this the ordinance that passes so that all the non-bargaining can?
yes, the Me
Yes.
Too ordinance.
Okay, where I stepped on my toes last meeting.
Yeah, that was just benefits.
Yeah. No, but
Anyways, so that's all I got on that. It will otherwise reflect the 5% that all the bargaining unit got, all the exempt employees, including your clerk.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Questions? We can ask some more Tuesday night if we have a motion to pass ordinance 2023-12 on the full council.
I'll make the motion to pass ordinance 2023-12 to full council.
Ms. Alt makes the motion, Mr. Bodkin seconds. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. If there is no other business, I'd like a motion for adjournment on the finance committee meeting.
I'll make that
Mr.
motion.
Bodkin makes the motion,
I'll second.
Ms. Alt seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
7:28.
Wow.
You know, that we,
Please don't do that.
you know, but then we incur that.
If you'll stand with me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. A moment of silence, please. All right, roll call.
Ms. Ault.
Here.
Mr. Bodkins.
Here.
Ms. Durbin.
Here.
Dr. Fellner.
Here.
Ms. Frank. Here. Mr. Richard. Ms. Ziegler.
Here.
All right, we did hear from Mr. Richard. He wasn't going to be here tonight. Can somebody make a motion to excuse Mr.
I make a motion to excuse Mr. Richard from tonight's meeting.
All right, motion made by Dr. Feller, second by Ms. Ault. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Elected officials, please.
Mayor Larry.
Here.
Auditor Satterfield. Director Law Palmer.
Here.
Treasurer Sparks. Safety Service Director Ward.
Here.
Thank you. And there are a couple items on this agenda that needs to be added, A and B vote. Dr. Feller.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to add ordinance 2023-6 to the agenda.
Motion to add 2023-6 to the agenda by Dr. Feller, second by Ms. Durbin. Roll call.
Ms. Ault.
Yes.
Mr. Bodkins.
Yes.
Ms. Durbin. Yes. Dr. Fellner.
Yes.
Ms. Frank.
Yes.
Ms. Ziegler.
Yes.
Motion carried. Ms. Ault.
I'll make a motion to add ordinance number 2023-7 to the agenda.
Motion to add 2023-7 to the agenda by Ms. Ault, seconded by Ms. Ziegler. Roll call, please.
Ms. Ault.
Yes.
Mr. Bodkins.
Yes.
Ms. Durbin.
Yes.
Dr. Fellner.
Yes.
Ms. Frank.
Yes.
Ms. Ziegler.
Yes.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended? Ms. Durbin?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as what we just did.
As amended.
As amended.
I'll second
Motion made by Ms. Durbin, seconded by Ms. Frank. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, very good. We'll start with ordinance 2023-6.
Ordinance number 2023-6, entitled ordinance amending ordinance number 2023-4, authorizing Attorney Patrick Kaysen of Reminger Co. LPA to represent the city of Galion as co-counsel in a pending litigation, and to now authorize Mac Malone to do same and declaring an emergency.
Members of council, I can speak to this very quickly. Let me just share really quickly, both this one and the next one are just sort of procedural matters with a respectful request that these be subject to suspension of rules and be passed in a timely manner. The first one here is you've already authorized Pat Casson to represent the city in litigation. He was the attorney given to us by our insurance company. He is unable to do that. There is another attorney in his firm who is going to step into his stead to do that. His name is Mac Malone. This is simply authorizing him to do that instead of the one you've already approved.
Same agency, though.
Same exact law firm.
Is there discussion?
Sure.
Oh, have you met him and, I mean,
I've met Pat Casson, and I trust his judgment in selecting Mac. I've not met Mac. But as you will see here, I will continue as co-counsel, so I have an oversight and the ability to gauge things as they go.
This one is two moves away in a chess sense, or this issue, if it arises, if it happens and we utilize him, this is after other things in the relatively near term, so think of this.
This is related to that potential civil suit.
Yeah, we had the discussion in executive session last night.
We did.
Yes,
And the resulting ordinance that was passed, this is a change to that ordinance,
Correct.
substituting names.
Correct. Not substituting firms, just substituting names.
I'd say if there's no other further discussion, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules and move 2023-6 to a final reading.
All right, motion to suspend the rules by Ms. Ziegler, second by Mr. Bodkins. Roll call, please.
Ms. Ziegler,
Yes.
Mr. Bodkins,
Yes.
Ms. Durbin,
Yes.
Dr. Fellner,
Yes.
Ms. Frank,
Yes.
Ms. Alt.
Yes.
Motion carried. Dr. Feldman?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to pass ordinance 2023-6.
Motion passed, 2023-6 by Dr. Feldman, second by Ms. Durbin. Do we have any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Fellner,
Yes.
Ms. Durbin,
Yes.
Ms. Frank,
Yes.
Ms. Ziegler,
Yes.
Ms. Alt,
Yes.
Mr. Bodkins.
All right, motion carried. The next ordinance is ordinance 2023-7.
Oh, somebody else say something, right? Oh, she's got to read.
Yes,
She has to read it.
Oh,
Do I get ready?
yeah, no, I'm asleep. Sorry.
They're both out of sequence.
Yeah, I'm just, okay. Ordinance number 2023-7 entitled Ordinance Authorizing Attorney Jeffrey Stankunis of Isaac Wiles and Burkholder LLC to assist and represent the city of Gallion regarding a civil service appeal and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Fowler?
As the mayor sort of referred to a minute ago, the other one is dealing with something which is as he shared a couple steps away. This is thing was extremely timely matter. In fact, that's the reason for the special meeting. It is relative to a hearing for the Civil Service Commission on the appeal of the termination notice, and this will be taking place on Monday, so there literally was no time. The appeal was filed at the end of December, give or take a couple days, and it is the nature of this that we've been moving at lightning speed, trying to get everything in gear to be able to do this. Jess Stankunis is an experienced attorney with a substantial amount of background in representation in Civil Service Commission matters. This is not typical that we would do this, but because of the importance of this particular matter, and we want to build a record that upon appeal, if that happens, to come and please, that there will be a solid case that had been presented, and he has a substantial background in this area. The administration discussed this, and we thought it was the best idea to move forward with counsel. I will share with you, we've already retained him in order to provide legal advice to the city and to my office. This is simply a permission for him to say that he's representing the city in the context of litigation, or in this case, the hearing before the Civil Service Commission. For him to do that, there just needs to be sort of a deputizing by City Council.
Mr.
Is this covered under our liability policy or not?
No.
Dr. Feldman?
The hearing on Monday, kind of a preliminary one, or is it?
No, it is the hearing. It is the hearing.
Mr. Bodkins?
We've already arranged to pay for this project, right? In other words, we've already done that. What we're gonna
He is
pay
currently
for
working on the case.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Through your budget, right?
Through my budget. In my
Yeah.
office, you've already authorized the expense. There's no additional money. It all is things you've already authorized my office.
Okay, thanks,
Expend.
Dr. Feldman?
If there are no other questions or comments, I would like to make a motion to suspend the rules on ordinance 2023-7 and proceed to the final reading.
Second, motion to suspend the rules by Dr. Feldman, second by Ms. Durbin. Roll call, please.
Dr. Fellner,
Yes.
Ms. Durbin,
Yes.
Ms. Frank,
Yes.
Ms. Ziegler,
Yes.
Ms. Alt,
Yes.
Mr. Bodkins.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Ms. Durbin? I'd like to, move ordinance number 2023-7 to the final reading.
We did that. You want to pass
We
it?
just did
Yes, we need to pass it.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You do?
Yeah, motion to
I wanted
suspend.
to say that, so.
I'm sorry.
I wanted to say final reading. You
Can I
said it.
retract?
She seconded it.
Oh, yeah.
You second.
I'd like to make a motion to take ordinance 2023-7
Pass.
Pass.
Pass it.
20.
Okay, motion to take 23-7 and pass it. Is that official or?
That'll be fine.
It's fine.
I was gonna say.
And seconded by Ms. Ziegler, I believe, who was the first to raise her hand. All right, thanks for the good humor. Any further discussion before we have roll call?
If it matters, this guy's in the, I'll make it quick. As you read it, that's a different law firm. There was a discussion about, we've used Clemens Nelson for so many things. There was discussion. They have lawyers that work in their HR firm that we would hire somebody at their recommendation. But, you know, we don't want to cast a shadow that we weren't independent on this, that this person, of course, they're going to agree with the findings of the investigator. So the investigator who does work for Clemens Nelson will be just asked to testify to the stuff that she learned as a part of the investigation. This lawyer who will represent us is totally independent. I think that's a good thing. Since I didn't say it, there was some good fortune, we'll see how it all works out, to be able to find somebody with the experience and qualification. The Civil Service Commission apparently hired the individual and firm that we had talked about. So well, let them get that first name, secured, and then that individual will be advising the commission at the hearing. So
Yeah, with this, we'll be all ready to go.
okay, thanks.
That's good information, thank you, Erica. Does anybody have anything else? Roll call, please.
Ms. Durbin,
Yes.
Ms. Ziegler,
Yes.
Ms. Alt,
Yes.
Mr. Bodkins,
Yes.
Dr. Fellner,
Yes.
Ms. Frank.
Yes.
Thank you.
Carried. All right.
He's right.
Mr. Bodkins? Mr. Bodkins makes a motion to adjourn, seconded by Ms. Frank. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
7:45.
All right, 7:45.
Well, Sheriff.
Carol.
Yeah.